6 games dating back to the championship against the Talons last year. The good news for them, Amber Fizer's been really good. She's one of those athletes signed out of the reserve athlete pool, but this has been a very bright spot for them in the circle, and she'll get the start. 7 innings so far on the season, a 3.00 ERA for Fizer. She'll
walks.
Maya Brady, their leadoff hitter, leads the league with 8 RBIs already. They hit 4 of their league best 10 home runs yesterday. Delaney Wiz, who is slotted right in the heart of this order, was with the Bandits last year, but she was picked up by the Spark in the expansion draft. She hit 2 of those home runs, both of them solo shots. So Brady, Romero, Sherrill, Bubba Nichols, Camarena in front of Wiz, and they will face Amber Fizer in her 6th professional season. First year with the Bandits, picked up out of the reserve athlete pool. She was actually with the Oklahoma City Spark the last 2 years before they joined the Spark. So maybe seeing a couple of her, before they joined the AUSL, maybe seeing some of her old teammates.
When you heard Jocelyn Eric, Delaney Wiz, 4 home runs for the Spark.
Here is Maya Brady to lead things off, and it looks like last year she didn't have a lot of at-bats. She didn't play a lot last year, was banged up at the early part of the season for the Talons, and then came in, had 11 hits in just 6 regular season games, drove in 5 runs, and lifted a trophy with the now Utah Talons. But she was unable to be protected. They protected 3 of their pitchers, Hannah Flippin and Charlize Palacios, so Maya Brady was the first off the board in the expansion draft. Another packed house at Parkway Bank Sports Complex. These fans hoping for a bit more of a show. They were energetic when they could be yesterday, but the Spark got on the Bandits so quickly that there wasn't a whole lot to cheer for the home crowd. Let's play some softball. Windy day, cloudy day here in Rosemont, Illinois. Had rain earlier this morning, but our expectation, hopefully, is that weather has passed, but I don't think we're going to get too warm today. See if the Chicago Bandits can get on the board with their first win of 2026. Second best record in the league last year, and lost in the championship to the Talons, 2 games to none in a best-of-3 series. Strike 1 from Fizer. Misses high for ball 1. Bandits starters have had some issues. They've been really good typically out of the bullpen, at least in the opening series against the Talons, but they have struggled to get quality starts. Brady takes outside corner, strike 2.
I remember Jocelyn Erickson was talking to Amber Fizer about working that river to chalk line, just like the pitch right there on the outside corner to Maya Brady, trying to get a little bit off the edge of the plate. We'll continue to try to look for that. That's the thing that I think Amber Fizer has done such a good job of early this season, is working more off the plate, not making very many mistakes, even to the point where maybe she gives up some free passes because of it early in the season. She's just trying to settle in and figure out the strike zone, see how far off the plate that she can get. And Amber Fizer is a pitcher that will rely mostly on a lot of different variations of her curveball, being able to throw that as an off-speed pitch as well as a backdoor curveball, mix the ball up in the zone with her rise a little bit as well.
Just missing on the outside corner that time. That ball more on the chalk than in the river. 3-2 count to Brady to start the game. We saw Maya down in the count 1-2. That was kind of a trend yesterday in the first inning for Bree Copeland as the Bandits starter, but she was unable to punch some of these batters out. And now it is a walk to Brady to lead things off.
That was just missed there at Amber Fizer. I think can't believe it. That is a pitch that she got called, it seemed to me, got called earlier in the count, didn't get it there, but that is an even better eye by Maya Brady. However, in order to have success against this explosive Spark team, that's a pitch she's going to have to get called.
Ball 1 to Sydney Romero, who has become the everyday shortstop for this Oklahoma City Spark team. We've seen Sid a lot at third, a little bit at second as well in her professional career. Tremendous athlete, now a 6th-year pro from Murrieta, California. Played her college ball at Oklahoma. She's currently an assistant coach at Oregon under Missy Lombardi. Ground ball left side. little hesitation by Williams at a low throw, and it's going to be an early defensive miscue for the Bandits. This haunted them a little bit in the opening series, and it comes back to bite them here in the first inning.
Well, the thing that threw all of this off was the fact that Maya Brady was running on the pitch, so she's going to go ahead and get a much quicker lead than what Sammy Williams expected from her. So no play at second base, forced her to rush her throw to first base, not set her feet properly, and pull Taryn Kern off of the bag at first base. And then Maya Brady going to go ahead and work her way all the way to third.
Sydney Sherrill swinging first pitch. That is strike one. It does go down as an error on the third baseman, Sammy Williams. Sydney Sherrill was one of their 3 home run hitters yesterday, the only one that was not a member of the Bandits last year. Sherrill actually played for the Spark last year. Outside, the throw down from Erickson, and now trouble. Maya Brady going to play with the defense over at third. I think Aaron Koffel said, we're not going to take any chances here. We're going to run you back to first.
First and third situations, every softball infielder has a love-hate relationship with these, as well as base runners. Sydney Romero throws on the brakes, trying to get herself into a rundown to see how the Bandits are going to play it, and trying to lure them into making a throw, and they did not, because once they would have made a throw against her, got distracted from Maya Brady at third base, and she would have gone ahead and tried to take home.
Do you like Koffel just hanging on to it there and running the runner back?
Yeah, that's best thing to do, especially after an error was already committed in this inning.
Saw Pfizer dance out of some jams in the opening series against the Talons, made 2 appearances against Utah. 7 innings pitched, just 4 hits allowed and 3 strikeouts. Her opponent batting average in those 2 appearances was just 154. Sydney Sherrill, a 5th-year pro, actually playing not far from home. She's from Moore, Oklahoma, played her college ball at Florida State. Fouls this off herself. Oh.
Amber Flores, the head coach of the Spark, there to talk to her. Amber Flores, a terrific player that played at OU. Has probably taken 1 or 2 off of her own leg, so understands the pain that that can cause in the middle of an at-bat.
2-2 to Sherrill. Kind of off the end of the bat. Circle slides in to make the play. Brady's going to come home, and she's going to score.
Remember yesterday, Spark were so good with 2 strikes. Just a productive out here by Sydney Sherrill to get this outside pitch well off the plate and be able to poke it out to left field. That somehow is deep enough with Maya Brady's speed to be able to score her. Just a couple of mistakes here. You know, free pass to Maya Brady on some pitches that I thought should have been called strikes against her, but calls go her way. Brady takes the walk. There's an error after that, and it leads to a quick Spark run.
Bubba Nichols Camarena down in the count 2-0. Second best power hitter in the league a year ago, at 7 home runs, 18 RBIs as a member of this Bandits team. One of 3 Bandits selected by the Spark in the expansion draft. Three-run home run in the first inning yesterday. Takes inside 3-1. Just feels like the Bandits needed a reset after yesterday. Didn't go their way really quickly, and then game was at about 1 hour and 27 minutes long. It was the fastest game in Athletes Unlimited history.
Absolutely flew by. And the thing about their home runs, that the way that they hit yesterday, they were swinging early in the count too. But you know, they were great with 2 strikes. Like, they were aggressive when they needed to be, and then with 2 strikes, they were tough outs. They just did not give in easily. 12 hits that the Spark had yesterday.
That is strike 3 on the inside corner to Bubba, and there's 2 outs. But Romero does take second.
Jocelyn Erickson trying to frame up this pitch for a little bit longer. They get the call off the inside corner, and then of course too, Bubba Nichols Camarena walking in front of her before that throw.
First stolen base of the year for the Spark belongs to Sydney Romero. Conference here with the Bandits head coach Shonda Stanton and her infield.
It's a really young infield that she's talking to right now. Rookie back behind the plate, and Erickson, complete rookie right side with Agbayani at second and Taryn Kern at first.
The most veteran of the group is Sammy Williams, the third baseman. This is her first year on the Bandits, and it's her first year in the AUSL. And then Erin Koffel, who was the MVP last year, is just in her third professional season. So you're talking about a 24, 25-year-old as your second most veteran presence on the infield. A really good one at that.
Really good.
First pitch in the air off the bat of Wiz, back to the track and off the wall. Delaney Wiz continues to rake against her old team, and that's going to go down as an RBI triple for Delaney. She is 4 for 4, a triple, and 2 home runs in the series.
Well, and that is the third triple for the Spark in these 2 games. The wind is always a nuisance here at this field, and right now it's going from left to right, and I think difficult for these outfielders to track down balls accurately with the way that it's going to move any ball in the air around.
Another frustrating start for the Bandits in game 2 of this series. Now Jessie Warren, another one that was added out of the expansion draft, but she came over from the Texas Volts. You see the comparison at the top of this order. That was really the difference yesterday. It's the top 5 in each order, the production that they saw.
This is the key to the first game. 1 through 5 hitters for the Spark were absolutely on fire. 4 home runs, had all those RBIs. But 1 through 5 for the Bandits, 0 for 10, 6 strikeouts, only had a couple of walks. So in 1 through 5, the top half of the Spark offense has just been on a roll.
The defense has struggled for the Bandits as well. Both runs in this inning unearned. If you go back to the first series with the Talons, I think you and I talked after that there were probably some more unearned runs in there as well. This is the 3rd full count. Warren to Koffel at short, and she takes care of it. But the Spark strike first for the 2nd consecutive day. 2-0. Finished her college career at Mississippi State. Just 1 season there after 3 years at Chattanooga. Was excellent on one of the best pitching staffs in the country for Taryn McKinney.
Yeah, helping lead Mississippi State to its first ever Women's College World Series appearance, 10 days ago. She can really spin it. You're going to see this ball dance around. She just spins it maybe better than anybody in her game right now. Alicia Ocasio has great movement and great spin. She pitches for the Blaze. And Gold has some crazy movement that you'll see at times that looks like a wiffle ball with how much it moves.
She will see Morgan Zirkle to lead things off. That is ball 1 outside to one of the best hitters in the league. Zirkle held hitless yesterday, but did walk 1 time. We showed you the top 5 in the order. 0 for 10 for the Bandits yesterday. Zirkle on the board. A base hit through the left side. They need a response.
That was a hard hit ball off of her bat too. 78 miles an hour, squaring one up to start things out.
From Zirkle to Koffel, and then Kern and Erickson, couple rookies. Mary Jacopo hit her first home run of the season, a blast to center field yesterday for their lone run in that 9-1 run rule loss. Erin Koffel takes strike 1 from Gould. Koffel, a rare day for her yesterday. Not just 0 for 3, but struck out twice. As ball one low in the turf here in Rosemont. Wind continues to gust from left to right pretty aggressively. Much cooler day today. You can see the movement on that pitch, just didn't get back in the strike zone, but it really dances.
There's a spin rate of about 2,400 RPM, which is very high.
3-1. Strike two. Erin Koffel walked 6 times in the opening series against the Talents. She hit 500, but she was only 3 for 6 because she had so many free passes. You talked about the rookie bats needing to step up, and that's one of the reasons why. But Koffel sees one she likes here and sends it out into left field. So the first 2 are aboard for Chicago.
Yeah, just a good at-bat of making Peja Gould bring up her pitches in the zone. She gets a curveball that is coming in at 59 miles an hour, and she's just able to stay with it. Slightly out in front of that, but sees one that's up in the zone and tries to make the most of it. And now 2 on for the Bandits trying to answer back, and already a quick timeout being called by Amber Flores and Courtney Martinez to come out and talk to the pitching staff and the defense. Peja Gould, and he had his eye on her.
How many times, really in the opening 3 games for the Bandits, did we see the door was open to really kind of kick it in from an offensive perspective? They're down 2 runs here, so they're not going to do that with one swing. But nobody out, top of your order, rookie pitcher in the circle. They need a big inning. Kern takes strike one, 1-1 count.
Well, these 2 rookies are put into a big position, hitting 3 and 4 in the order, the run driver inners, providers with Taryn Kern and Jocelyn Erickson. Like, they have to step up and score some runs. And Jenny Dalton-Hill, she wasted no time telling us before the opening game that our season is dependent upon the 3 rookies that we have in the lineup. They've continued to put them in the 3 and 4 holes. A lot of belief in Taryn Kern and Jocelyn Erickson, both lefty power hitters hitting back-to-back.
Off the end of the bat, foul. There's big shoes to fill, too, because the shoes they are stepping into, one of them's behind the plate, Delaney Wiz, who got selected in the expansion draft. The other one's out in left field, Bubba Nichols Camarena, who were both Bandits last year. And the other one is Sydney McKinney, who's still waiting to return from her Japanese professional league season. But she was the batting champion last year, led the league in average. 3-2 count to Kern. Takes ball 4.
I just kind of feel like we're missing some pitches here early in this game. That looked like a strike to me. I'm not really sure where that pitch missed. You see it on Delaney Wiz's face, and it's a tough situation now. She does not get the call with the bases loaded now.
This is a big spot for Jocelyn Erickson, who had so many opportunities in the first series with runners in scoring position. She was just 1 for 8 in that opening series. So 8 of her 10 at-bats came with runners in scoring position. None have been bigger than this spot right here. And you know what Erickson can do. Massive run producer, had 74 RBIs as a senior for Tim Walton at Florida this year.
Nobody in the league has had more opportunities early on this season with runners in scoring position than Jocelyn Erickson. 9 at-bats. She's leading the league with at-bats with runners in scoring position, and just 1 hit to show for it. In second place would be Tori Vidalis behind her with 7 at-bats with runners in scoring position of the Portland Cascade.
One-two count. The Bandits are 0 for 3 with the bases loaded. Had an opportunity against the Talons with nobody out and could not come through in that series. Back up the middle off of Gould, and Erickson is aboard to score the first run for the Bandits.
Jocelyn Erickson, of course, has hit against Paige Gould when she was at Florida, so familiar with her, has some experience off of it. Not an easy pitch to get to at all. It's a pitcher's pitch, but Paige Gould just cannot handle that ball off the end of the bat with the bases loaded. Could have been an out at home. So it hits off of her glove and could be a run for Chicago.
It will go down as an RBI single for Erickson, and the Bandits needed something like that, just a bounce to go their way. So 4 years at Duke. She is out of the reserve athlete pool, but had a really good start to her career. Couple relief outings in the opening series, went a total of 4 innings and gave up just 1 earned run. It was on a solo home run. That's been a great fill-in, because it's not just the Bandits who are missing 3 pitchers right now of their usual 5, but the Spark are as well. So she is one of a trio of rookies joining their duo, their rookie duo, who will stay with the team for the rest of the season.
It's so hard to believe that the Spark have an all-rookie pitching staff.
And they're 3-1. 2-0 just misses. 3-0. Kurt was asking where that is.
These pitchers are trying to figure out this strike zone, and it's going to be a bit frustrating, and honestly it's going to cause for a really long game with how tight this zone is being called. And we need some more pitches to be getting called here. Pitches that we've seen called in the first 4 games.
That was a 4-pitch walk out of the bullpen for Kern. She thought a couple were on the corner. You see the numbers so far. She's really been one of their most productive in her 2 relief outings. This is her 3rd. Maya Johnson has been unbelievable so far.
Saw her get the start yesterday. She also got the start on opening day. She continues to throw complete games, which is so hard to do in this league. But her opening day was a complete game win against the Volts. Ruby Malin came in relief of her and through the last inning in yesterday's game, but she easily could have continued to go the distance.
Mary Jacopo lets it go. Big swing from Mary yesterday on the solo home run, the lone run of the game for the Bandits. Struggled at the plate last year, just 3 hits and walked 3 times. She kind of became the everyday catcher down the stretch in place of Jordan Roberts, who retired at the conclusion of last season. But Mary goes down looking for the first out of the inning here.
And then now we get the call. See, this is, I think, going to just frustrate the hitters and the pitchers if it's not going to be called consistently, because now the hitters are going to take this pitch because they didn't see it called earlier in the inning. So Mary Jacopo strikes out, and Cassidy Kurt gets a much-needed out.
This is a dangerous bat at the plate, and one that would have seen Curd in Fayetteville just a couple weeks ago in Super Regionals. Arkansas beat Duke to reach their first ever Women's College World Series. Tiana Bell was on that Arkansas team. This one gets away from Wiz, and Kern is going to come in to score. The Bandits lead 3-2.
And able to get this crowd into it. Yesterday, the Sparks scored so early and so often, it completely took this home crowd out of it. It was opening day here. Now these fans want to cheer for their home team, able to tie up this game and get these fans a little bit louder and behind their home team.
2-0 to Bell. It's kind of off the handle to Sydney Sherrill, and there's 2 outs. Cassidy Curd is an out away from doing a very nice job in relief and limiting this damage. You would think this is a all hands on deck situation. There's an off day tomorrow. This series will be concluded on Tuesday night. So you saw the quick change to Curd, and you would expect anyone would be ready to come in for the Spark.
You know, a lot of lefties in this Chicago lineup. They're going up against the lefty, and Curd. She'll throw a curveball and a rise ball, her best 2 pitches.
Jumps ahead of Jessica Clements, one of those lefties you're talking about, 0-2. Bandits trying to continue their first inning run of success. 13 total runs this year, 9 of them have come in the first frame. That's been really maybe the interesting part. They have started off really hot, and then Shonda Stanton even talked to us after the first night with Montana Fouts. They scored 2 off of her, didn't score the rest of the time, and she said they just won the chess match after that. The adjustments that they have made throughout the game maybe haven't been there.
Big hit here would really get this crowd into it. You can just tell they are itching to cheer for their home team. It's nice that we have these home markets this year. Last year we had 4 teams and we're playing all over the country. This year we have home markets for the first time.
These 2 teams are really the 2 that have somewhat of an established fan base. The Spark joined the league this year. This is their 4th year of existence, though. The Bandits, of course, have a great history. Shonda Stanton trying to write some more of it this year in her first season as their head coach for their general manager, Jenny Dalton-Hill. Another foul ball from Clements, and she has to like the fight she's seen from her hitters early in this game today.
And she is just sticking with this curveball in this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Cassidy Kerr trying to throw a couple balls off the plate and seeing if she can get Clements to chase. She's continuing to work that outside corner against her. We'll see if Clements can make an adjustment.
Hard hit that will get into center field. Stanton's going to test the arm of Brady. And no good. They do score another one, but that will be the mentality of Shonda Stanton. They want to run. They want to be aggressive. And they find themselves up 4-2.
Someone else who I know handles their hair seriously is Amber Pfizer. She's superstitious about 2 things. One of them is that sparkly red headband that you see her wear. She'll also wear blue, and she's working on adding black into the rotation, but she will always have a sparkly headband on. And number 2 is that bubble braid. She told me she changes the bubble braid when they lose, and when they win, it stays the same. Today, you'll see she's got a bunch of loose ones. She'll braid one or the other if they're losing, and I know that Bandits fans are hoping that braid stays the same tomorrow.
Yeah, it really is like the same hairstyle that you're used to seeing from her days at Minnesota. And there's the Sephora braid bar that Anna and I were hanging out at.
This is hit deep into center field off the wall. It's going to be a loud single for the leadoff Haley Lee, their first baseman today.
The other thing that I think that Amber Pfizer will consistently do, wasn't mentioned, but I feel like I'm used to seeing her wear a big scrunchie in her hair at the top. You see the red one there. I feel like I'm used to seeing that from her, and a sparkly headband, which I partook in as well. When I was playing at Texas A&M, I had the same sparkly headband all 4 years that I played.
Same one.
The exact same one. It was definitely didn't have the elasticity.
Yeah, it sounds right.
By the 4th year, and it was definitely very dirty, but it was the same one.
That was my concern, is the hygiene of the headband or the scrunchie. This goes into right field, but Lee just crawling to get back on her feet.
And I feel like Jenny Finch was the one that made the sparkly headband famous. Everybody would get her branded ones, and now I feel like there have been so many offshoots of them.
Visit in the circle. This is actually going to be one of the assistant coaches, Alex Ibarra, who's been a longtime contributor on coaching staffs and as a facilitator for Athletes Unlimited in the past. So he's going to come out and have a quick visit with the infield.
Well, I feel like you're already seeing some more timeouts from the Bandits coaching staff in this game than what we were used to in the first 4 games. I think maybe making a concerted effort to go out and talk to this young infield, make sure that they stay level-headed and steady and believing in each other and believing in themselves.
1-1 count now to Billy Andrews. Takes that pitch low, ball 2. I don't want to say the alarm bells are ringing. It's still early, but it's early in a short season. There's 25 games. We've played 4 of them. The Bandits are 0-4. And these teams are looking really good around the league. So, again, I don't think they're panicking, but at some point, they're going to have to dig in and get some wins.
It's just trying different things. How can we be better today? And I think that that is going to be a way that they're trying to be better, is by having young infield a little bit more, calm them down, keep them thinking about the next play.
Strike three looking on a nice pitch from Pfizer. The backwards K, her second. Strike one to Grace Jenkins, the 9 spot. It was a good chance to play probably the entire summer with this Spark team, despite being one of those picked up out of the reserve athlete pool. But with Kinsey Hansen-McKenzie on the temporary inactive list, who would be expected to be their everyday catcher, you would imagine it is Jenkins, who has caught herself as an outfielder, would be the one that stays in her place.
Jocelyn Erickson is doing a really nice job back behind the plate, working more outside to these left-handed hitters, trying to get around the curveball that Amber Pfizer is throwing these lefties on the outer half. Something that I've noticed an adjustment from her. There's an off-speed curveball, so a good version of it. She's working more in that right-handed batter's box, setting up even more outside, trying to get around these pitches to allow Amber Pfizer a nice target on the outside corner to get it called.
You got to be willing to hype yourself up when you have that first conversation, right? As your Amber Pfizer and Jocelyn Erickson comes to you and says, what's the best pitch? What is your favorite thing to do? What do you like? I mean, you got to be, this is where I'm best right here.
Well, and with this strike zone, it's a little bit wider than what you're going to see in the college game. And because of that, I think Jocelyn Erickson, a rookie, is going to work even further out than what she did at Florida a couple of weeks ago. But you'll see her, especially as a lefty, really try to get her glove around those outside pitches to these left-handed hitters, trying to give Amber Pfizer the confidence to throw more in the river, or in between the river and the chalk line of the batter's box.
Fourth full count for Pfizer. Swing and a miss. Erickson did run it a little further out there and got Jenkins.
And that was all set up because Amber Pfizer wants to work on the outside corner with her backdoor curveball and with her drop ball, which is this pitch here. It runs away from Jenkins to get her to chase that pitch down and out of the strike zone, but you can tell how hard Jocelyn Erickson is working for Pfizer.
Slow roller off the bat of Brady, and a clean second inning for Amber Pfizer. The Chicago Bandits trying to settle in. Their bats coming up next.